I'm going to start with a personal anecdote of mine. I tweeted about this briefly, so if you don't follow me, you probably should be. My YouTube username and Twitter handle are the same thing, so you can find me on there. And basically what I talked about was my Bills road trips, and I've been doing them, one a year at least, typically, for 7 or 8 seasons now. Anyway, for the sake of keeping it somewhat shorter, I guess, and for my point, sort of, I'm going to cut it down to the last 6 years. But anyway, here are the last 6, actually be 7 trips total. The last 7 road trips I've been on for the Bills, to go see the Bills on the road. Their record is 3-4, which is not bad, all things considered. Road games, the team hasn't been super great. Their record is 3-4. It's really not too bad. However, they've lost the last 3. But let's start at the beginning. Let's start back at the beginning. 2013, E.J. Manuel's rookie year. I went to Tampa Bay, and the Bills lost 27-6. Bobby Rainey scored on the second play from scrimmage, an 80-yard touchdown run. Made it 7-0. Little did I know that would be the end of the game. EJ threw 4 picks, I believe, in that game. 2014, I saw Kyle Orton's first game as a starter with the Bills in Detroit. That was the Sammy Watkins tip to himself, the Dan Carpenter field goal. The Bills won 17-14. The only touchdown in that game was scored by tight end Chris Gregg. In 2015, I went to New York City. I went to see the Bills play on Thursday Night Football against the Jets. They won 22-17. That was a game, I believe they led 22-3. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but the Fitzpatrick-led Jets stormed back for 2 quick touchdowns. The Bills got a big stop on 4th and goal after Colton Schmidt dropped a punt. You may remember it. Bills scored 2 touchdowns in that game. They scored Carlos Williams, caught a pass across the middle from Tyrod Taylor, and Duke Williams recovered a kickoff fumble and ran it back for a touchdown. 2016, they won again. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 16-12. Pretty uneventful game there. I think the Bengals hurled a Hail Mary towards the end of the game, maybe with about 40 yards, and the Bills won. LaShawn McCoy scored a rushing touchdown in that game. 2017, I went to 2. I went to Carolina in week 2, the Zay Jones drop game. They lost 9-3. I also went to the playoff game, Jacksonville. We know the story there. They lost 10-3. And I went to Indianapolis this past week in 2018, and they lost 37-5. So the past 3 games I've gone to, the Bills' offense has mustered up exactly 3 points. They've lost the last 3 after winning the previous 3 before that. But like I said, they're combined 3-4 in the games that I've gone to, and since 2013, and they have scored 4 total touchdowns. 4. 3 on offense. 1 by somebody who was still on the team. Like, that is just unbelievable to me. Like, how am I guess you could view it as luck in sort of a way, but how am I this, unfortunate to see these, at least these last 3 years, these games where the 2 they were in, but like they couldn't score any points. Same was, I've gotten lucky to see Derek Anderson's first start with the Bills and Kyle Orton's first start with the Bills. Kyle Orton had the Bills on the brink of the playoffs. I don't think Derek Anderson is getting there exactly. And that's part of my overall frustration with, not my road trips obviously, but just the team overall, is it doesn't feel like it counts. Like, because you've went to Josh Allen and you have come back from Josh Allen because of injury, and you're playing Derek Anderson, and I don't know, Derek Anderson deserves some credit for maintaining 15-year status in the NFL, but like, he's not the future. He's only the present because he has to be. So he turned the ball over 5 times, right? 4 or 5 times? Did he have 4 picks and a fumble? Would Peterman have done that bad? Would Peterman have turned the ball over more or fewer times? What do you think? Just as many, maybe, if he played the whole game? Do you have to take the under by default? 5? Are you kidding me? Anyway, like I said, it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like they're gaining any progress. That Dable's offense is, like Josh Allen's obviously not coming into his own. Like I can't look for anything, like any type of improvement. I don't know what to point at and be like, well, at least maybe we could see some strides here. Offensive line, maybe, but I think the Bills are going to be active again in free agency there, maybe. Zay Jones, maybe. I think Charles Clay is probably a prime candidate to get released after the season because he's really not effective in the offense, and I do think he's a good player, but the Bills are down 6-0, and then he catches a pass over the middle and fumbles, and then like the game is over at that point. Thereafter, he was never close ever again. Sean McCoy might get released. Like he only has 1 year left on his deal, as well as Clay. Like they might keep him. They might trade him. Kelvin Benjamin's a free agent. They might trade him. They're probably exploring options to trade him. Like Derek Anderson's not going to be here. Chris Ivory might be here, but ideally, I guess, won't be the starting running back, but might be. He actually hasn't played too terribly. But I don't see that as a reason to trade McCoy. I just don't want to trade McCoy because he's a good player, and I would like Josh Allen to play with him because I think it will benefit him some. That's basically my argument there. I'm not on the tank thing. I know a lot of people are on like, oh, what's the point? Just lose out. And I like as much as I get it, I feel like tanking in the NFL is worth doing for a quarterback and a quarterback only. And if you're of the opinion that it's going to be Josh Allen, and I'm of that opinion that Josh Allen is more than likely the starting quarterback for the Bills in 2019, I don't need to tank for Nick Bosa, I don't think, or Ed Oliver. Like, why? I want people, like free agents, and even draft picks, and the draft picks are a little bit separate because they're typically excited to get drafted and move to the next level. But, like, I want free agents to want to come here. And right now, the Bills are going to have to overpay for people to get them to come here. Who wants to come here? Just because, I mean, it's Buffalo, and I don't mean to talk about that like negatively because I think it's a great city. I've talked to some players who love it here and they want to stay here. Some guys end up living here. Like, it's a fun city. It's a good city. All it does is, like, you listen to the Monday Night Football broadcast, and they're talking about the weather for next Monday. Like, all it does is snow in Buffalo or something. Like, it's going to be 48 degrees or whatever. Like, yeah, of course. It's fall. It's almost November. But, like, I am forever committed to, like, debunking the idea that Buffalo sucks and that all it does is snow. It's so stupid and short-sighted, and I hate it. It really gets under my skin. But like I said, it's still not New York City, it's not LA, it's not Dallas, it's not Miami. There's not beaches there is, but like, there's not beaches all year round, and nice weather all year round, and like movie stars and stuff. Like, you don't get that. So, and you don't have like the nostalgia or like the rich history like the Packers do or something like that. That's just my point. I want people to want to come here. Like, I don't want them to wait until they're free agents and then just, like, sort of leave. So, the only way I can envision, like, the Bills enticing free agents, really, is to overpay for them. At least, like, name free agents. And that's... I don't know who's out there, really. But I know the Bills have a ton of cap room. And I think it's stupid to assume that they'll just spend it on good players. Like, they might have to overpay for mid-tier players. Like, oh, we have so much cap room. Okay, well, like, nobody's gonna want to come here. Like Robert Woods and, like, why would Robert Woods have wanted to stay? Like, he's from California, and the Bills would have had to overpay to keep him. Like, Stephon Gilmore, same thing. The Bills would have had to overpay to keep him, and, like, it just doesn't seem that enticing to people. We've seen it all throughout history, like, at least recent history. Like, Jarvis Bird didn't look like he wanted to stay, but whatever. That's just an example. Like, and then you end up overpaying for guys like Derek Dockery and whatever. Like, these are just things. Langston Walker. Like, this happens. This happens all the time. Hopefully, we can turn some sort of page here. It's just overall completely frustrating. I don't want to. I really don't want to be 2-14. I don't want to. Hopefully that we don't end up there. But like this week, we're staring 2-6 right in the face. Obviously, it's New England. I mean, I do have to preview this for you. Like, I'm gonna title this Bills versus Patriots preview, but like, not really. We know about New England. We know Tom Brady's 28-3 against the Bills in his career, and the Patriots are now 5-2 after starting 1-2, and they've scored at least 38 points in every game since. Like, they've in their last, in their 4-game win streak, they have racked up over at least 380 yards. They racked up 500 yards one time, over 400 yards 2 out of 4, 381 this past week. They have allowed in their, I guess, their defense hasn't been good. They've allowed over 439 yards, at least, in their past 3 games. They've allowed 31 to Mitch Trubisky and 40 to Patrick Mahomes, 24 to the Colts and Andrew Luck. Like, there's been turnovers. They've turned the ball over on offense at least one time in every game. They have forced at least 2 turnovers in all but one game. Like, there's opportunities for both teams, but it's still New England. It's still Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady in Buffalo, last year he scored 23. The year before it was 41. The year before it was 40. The year before it was 37. The year before it was 23 again. The year before it was 52. The year before it was 31. The year before it was 34. Like, the fewest points he's scored in Buffalo in the last 8 meetings is 23. And he's 7-1 in the last 8. So, I mean, how can you not expect that to continue? Like, the guy has just historically owned the team. Belichick as well. I don't... You look at the numbers and they're not eye-popping for the Patriots. They're 4th overall in points, 10th overall in yards. They, on defense, are 25th in yards, 20th in points. Like, the Patriots are 14th passing the football, 13th rushing the football, 25th against the pass, 21st against the run. Like, this isn't really the markings of a 5-2 team, but it's still New England. I mean, I encourage you all to go. I'm dead serious. I encourage you all to go. Why? Because this doesn't happen too often. We haven't had a Monday Night Football home game in 10 years, since 2008, against the Browns. So the rarity of this occurrence is enough, should be enough to get you to go. They're retiring Thurman Thomas's number at halftime. That's sort of how they get you to go, honestly. Like, I don't blame them. No, it's not criticism in any way. They continue to honor and, glorify the 90s Bills because that's really all they have. So I don't blame them. Anyway, it's Derek Anderson versus Tom Brady on Monday Night Football. Great. No Josh Allen this week. Patriots could be without, looks like they're going to be out Sony Michel. Looks like they might be without Rob Gronkowski. That seems 50-50 at this point. It's Tom Brady, guys. It's Tom Brady and the Patriots. I'm picking them. I'm picking the Patriots to beat the Bills. Let's say 30. That seems like the middle of like 34, 38, and 23. So 30-16. 30-16 Patriots. It would be sweet if they could pull off this upset on Monday Night Football. It would be awesome. The last time the Patriots were on Monday Night Football, I believe that's correct, was it was Sunday night. Is this their only Monday night? This is their only Monday night game of the year. Wow. I mean, they've been on Sunday night a bunch. But, the Kansas City game and the Detroit game, that's the one I was thinking of. But where they got killed by Matt Patricia, their former coordinator. Anyway, guys, let me know where you stand. Where you stand with this team. Josh Allen's future. If you want to talk about next year, we're approaching that point. I hope not, but it's getting dangerously close. If they start falling to 2-6, we got to start looking ahead realistically. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Monday, most of all, and above all else, go Bills.